Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video in legal breaking reporting. As you all may know, Donald Trump has ridiculously and stupidly flouted the idea of reopening the notorious, famous tourist site Alcatraz in San Francisco, California, located on an island, literally located right on an island. But you see, it is highly unlikely. Well, why is it highly unlikely? Well, let's get into that in today's reporting. Ladies and gentlemen, while President Trump has expressed the interest of reopening Alcatraz as a prison, several factors suggest that, like I said, this is unlikely and that it potentially is impractical. Firstly, the island's current state, high costs, and its existing status as a popular tourist attraction and national park raise significant concerns. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be asking yourselves, well, what type of significant concerns and challenges does it face? Well, let's get into that right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the significant challenges and obstacles. Firstly, ladies and gentlemen, the high costs. You might be asking yourselves, well, what does Alcatraz have to do with high costs? Firstly, Alcatraz was already expensive to operate, costing nearly 3 times more than other federal prisons. Reopening, especially with renovations and upgrades, would be incredibly expensive. Structural issues. Ladies and gentlemen, is what we're about to get into. And you might be asking, well, what does structural issues have to do with reopening Alcatraz prison and Alcatraz Island? Well, we're about to get into that. Firstly, ladies and gentlemen, the island's buildings are deteriorating, for one, due to years of exposure in the marine environment. Secondly, rebuilding or the expensive repairs would be necessary, likely at a significant cost. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into structural challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, structural challenges. Alcatraz has limited resources, for one, infrastructure, including water and sewage systems, which would need significant upgrades to support a prison. ladies and gentlemen, and we're about to learn about the national park status. Ladies and gentlemen, the national park status, firstly, ladies and gentlemen, is now part of the Golden Gate National Recreation Area and is managed by the National Park Service and the Bureau of Prisons. Reopening, secondly, ladies and gentlemen, as a prison would likely require changing its status and potentially causing legal and political hurdles. Ladies and gentlemen, you might be asking, well, what type of impact will it have on tourists? Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to find that out right now. Firstly, ladies and gentlemen, Alcatraz is a major tourist attraction that draws millions of visitors annually. Secondly, reopening as a prison could significantly impact tourism and potentially damage its reputation as a historical and cultural site. Ladies and gentlemen, well, you may be asking yourselves, well, what type of practical issues goes along with this supposed ridiculously stupid idea of the 34 felony count criminals, idea of reopening the prison and tourist site? Well, we're about to find that out right now. Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, reopening Alcatraz would involve complex logistical challenges, including shipping supplies, managing water and sewage, and providing essential services on an island with limited infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, while President Trump's proposal is ambitious, the numerous challenges as well as the obstacles related to cost, infrastructure, legal status, and tourism as well make it highly unlikely that Alcatraz will be reopened as a prison. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this more in-depth, detailed legal breakdown of Donald Trump's crazy, political, stupid, ambiguous idea of reopening the Alcatraz tourist site as a prison. Well, yes, ladies and gentlemen, The President of the United States does have the ability and the willpower to reopen a tourist site. As stated in the video, it is highly unlikely, given major legal challenges and infrastructure, to which obviously Donald Trump doesn't care about neither, considering how narcissistic and evil this prick is. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's, for this legal breaking reporting, in a way. If you did enjoy this legal breaking reporting, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy. Firstly. Secondly, if you want to make sure you're always up to date continuously on the on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, please hit the bell icon as well as the notifications option that is right next to the subscribe button below on the right hand side. It does not cost anything, it's free of charge. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, thirdly, if you guys would also like to stay up to date on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, please consider following me on my social medias. I will have them linked down below. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, Threads, as well as TikTok. There I will be posting when I've uploaded a brand new legal breaking reporting on the side of politics. Fourthly, ladies and gentlemen, please help me reach and achieve the goal of 160 plus subscribers. The reason why I'm saying 160 plus subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 160 subscribers, we have more subscribers to reach and achieve right after we reach and achieve the goal of 160 subscribers. Fifthly, ladies and gentlemen, please stay positive, even though I know it's hard for majority of you guys. It's even hard for me at times, unfortunately, to stay positive during these unfortunate induced dark times, to which are illegal by the illegal, unconstitutional Trump administration, Trump regime. And know that justice will prevail on the correct side of the law, despite Donald Trump eventually, despite Donald Trump and his illegal, unconstitutional regimes and administrations, unconstitutional, illegal executive orders, actions, and behaviors. That is gonna be it for this legal breaking reporting, ladies and gentlemen. I will talk to you guys in the next reporting.